Hello, viewers. Welcome back. So I was watching Lawrence O'Donnell tonight, and I forget who he was talking to, but she mentioned that Epstein had done work with Adnan Khashoggi, Adnan. Look him up. I've done a reading on him in the past. He is the uncle of Jamal Khashoggi, who was the reporter who was killed by the Saudis. Adnan was, at one time in the early 80s, he was worth over $4 billion. He worked with Nixon's team. Nixon was the first to start selling arms to Saudi Arabia. Adnan got involved in arms sales and made billions and was involved in the Iran-Contra affair. So the fact that Epstein was working with him even later in life, there was a connection there. And if you watch my video number 261, you'll see I was looking at Epstein in connection with Saudi Arabia. So now Adnan Khashoggi, his sister, married Dodi Al-Fayed's father, Dodi Al-Fayed, who died in the car accident with Princess Di. Adnan Khashoggi was only worth, I think it was like $8 million at the time of his death. He had enterprises all over the world in many countries: Switzerland, Liechtenstein, and Saudi Arabia, the U.S. He had a penthouse in the Olympic Towers, which is just down the street from Trump Towers, next to the St. Patrick's Cathedral. Anyway, interesting connection, I think. So I have to look at, did Epstein work with Khashoggi during the Iran-Contra affair? What was the relationship during the Iran-Contra affair? Now, some of you said, oh, Epstein was too young to be involved in the Iran-Contra affair. Well, he was in his 30s when that happened. He was born in 1953, so he'd already made billions, or millions at least, already owned several planes. And the other interesting thing that they were talking about that came up in Epstein's court hearing today over whether or not they'll keep him in jail until his trial, they found in his apartment a fake Saudi Arabia passport. It was expired, but they found a fake passport under someone else's name, but with Epstein's photo. So they were using that to show he was a flight risk. So Epstein goes way back with Saudi Arabia. Let's just take a look. What was his connection with Adnan Khashoggi? During the Iran-Contra affair. Adnan Khashoggi was a middleman during the Iran-Contra affair. So on the bottom, desolation out in the cold. Let's see what that's about. If they were taking advantage of people even back then, of the impoverished. Artie's yelling in the background in case you hear commotion going on. He's racing around. Interesting. Epstein showing up here as the justice card sitting on top of him, basically, because he's in court, but also during the Iran-Contra affair, trying to bring balance in the deals. Um, there were a lot of dirty tricks going on during this deal, trying to manifest things. At the root of this, the Emperor Adnan Khashoggi, showing up here. I feel his energy on this card. Adnan Khashoggi was at the root of this. And recent past, the winning with dishonor. So they were successful in doing work together, it looks like to me. This was on a global scale. Near future, a loss for Epstein because of the government and moneyed news. Because, I feel like because they've asked for Epstein's records of how he made his money and things, and looking at his financial records, and even ties to Trump, he's going to be at a loss, because I think it's going to show that he made his money off the Iran-Contra affair. Or made a lot of it then, as well as his other things. This is putting an end into a cycle of Khashoggi, or Epstein. Khashoggi, Adnan Khashoggi passed away in 2017, I believe it was. So that put an end to their relationship. But it looks to me like this is going to come up in the courts. The investigators are going to look at this, and there's also ties again to Mother Russia, the Saudis and Mother Russia. Yeah, and Epstein's very concerned about the sort of truth, these truths coming out. His connection to oligarchs, to Trump, to how he made all his money. He's about to be defeated. And the women. Yeah, somebody's going to seek answers on this. Somebody's going to shine a light on it. Interesting. I think that's going to end up coming out in the court case. So, or in the financial records, may lead to a later court case, is what I'm getting. So let's take a look at Artie was Adnan also involved with the women. I say women, they're women now. They weren't at the time. Another interesting point, Trump bought Adnan Khashoggi owned in the 1980s the world's largest yacht at the time. It was used in a James Bond film, Never Say Never Again, I think. When Adnan started having financial troubles, he sold his yacht to the Sultan of Brunei, who then sold it to Trump. So Trump later sold it. He bought it for like 29 million or something like that, and he sold it for 20 million. So he at one time owned Adnan's yacht. A lot of little links to these people in there. This is some investigator charging in. Let's see. Taking a look at this. So Adnan, he worked with the government, but I'm also feeling this has to do with his morals. And his challenge was waiting on the money, waiting on the harvest, waiting on the sales, waiting on, his part of the money on it. He was a middleman. He was a middleman in the money. He had agreements with Epstein. I feel like, again, with his death, it was an end to the cycle with Epstein. But again, the investigators are going to bring it out in another court case. Great anxiety here for Epstein if the connection to Adnan comes out, as well as, here we go again, Mother Russia, and the GOP. Epstein's trying to hang on, but he worked with a lot of celebrated people. He worked with a lot of famous people, and that was his inspiration. That was his idea, his plan, to work with all these people. And it looks like he had proposals that he made to Adnan when they were overseas. Yeah, and this could be a big tower moment for Epstein if this comes out, involving young people. I'm trying to be careful in my wording because my video 261, if you watched it, is not monetized because I flat out said what it was and what was going on, used very specific wording, which apparently YouTube's analysis now of videos caught, even though I only numbered that video, caught the wording I used in that video. So I'm trying to be very careful in what I say and how I say it, to see if I can squeak by and have this video monetized. So interesting if you want to understand a little more about what's going on with the what YouTube deems politically controversial and why they're not monetizing. David Pakman has a YouTube channel called The David Pakman Show, so you can search for that on YouTube. He's done several videos. He does like a political radio show. He made, he's got hundreds of thousands of viewers and subscribers, and his financing from advertising is like null and void now because all of his shows are very politically controversial, apparently, by YouTube. So as of July 1st, he suddenly got whammed with that and has no income coming in from the advertising, and he probably was making, I don't know, $20,000 a month off of it because he had so many views. That's how he paid for all of his assistants that helped do all his legwork and everything. So little readers like us, it's not like, I have noticed on my analytics, my rate of getting new subscribers has gone down because I'm not showing up as much in suggested video feeds. And then David Pakman talks about that in one of his videos. And then he's got the same issue. He's not showing up now in suggested videos or getting new subscribers. My subscriber rate is slowing down, and my advertising is now cut in probably about a 50% reduction. It's a little over 45% reduction in advertising. So it's kind of crazy, but if you want to understand it a little more, I know a lot of you have been asking me questions that I've been putting comments in. I'm focusing on, as I shuffle and talk, I'm focusing on Adnan. Was he connected to Trump also? And Epstein, and what was going on. But David Pakman explains it better than I am, so I would highly recommend taking a look at his videos. Oh yeah, looks like Adnan partied a little bit with Trump. Oh, yeah. Yep, there's some secrets and hidden agendas going on with Adnan and Trump. Um, and the lovers don't have to explain that, right? Um, Also, at the root of this, money laundering. Um, I feel like this is Trump's going to end up defending himself. The messenger coming out, so someone's going to bring this as a connection to light. I just feel like it's going to come up somehow, whether it's through a different court case on the finances of Epstein, or if it's going to come out in this actual court case that's going on right now. Epstein, again, trying to hang on to what he's got. Excuse me. Epstein trying to hang on to what he's got, but involved with Trump, balancing the money laundering, shifting the money from here to there, and Epstein's going away. He's going away for a long time. So, I thought it was funny, one last spread. I thought it was funny that the judge actually laughed today at Epstein's lawyers, that they actually suggested, well, we can hire our own security, for Epstein. You don't have to keep him in jail, and we're willing to pay like $100 million bail or whatever. And the judge actually laughed, like, we would trust you to hire your own security when you had a fake passport to Saudi Arabia in your hands, and all the other stuff that's starting to leak out about this. We're going to hear more and more and more. It's just, this case is going to get crazy. So, went to take a look at Epstein. Hang on one second, I gotta pause for a second. Yeah. When I look at Epstein, would he have flown the coop? Would he have left the country if the judge lets him out? My guides just said, no way, Jose. They are not going to let him out. No way, Jose. He's staying in jail. But I want to look at, was he planning to try to get out of the country? He's got properties in Paris, his little St. James Island, New York, and New Mexico, but he's got fake company names all over the place. He's got properties all over the world, I guarantee it. And obviously he has some ties to Saudi Arabia, so yeah, judgment's getting ready to come down on him hard. Something from his past coming up again. Judging by the people, he's going nowhere. Oh my gosh, I just love the sense of humor. It comes out sometimes in the cards. That's a good one. So here's Epstein's lawyers, and Epstein offering to the judge, oh, we'll hire our own security, and he'll stay here. He'll be a good boy, right? His challenge is the judge sitting on top of him, and the prosecutors. At the root of this, he thinks he runs the world, that he can do what he wants, that he's the emperor, and he's in isolation in jail. He can't do what he wants to do, but crowning the reading, sitting right on top of him, justice. Basically, this is I'm not feeling Mother Rush on this. This is the women, and again, I do think some of them had children. justice for the women coming out. Time's up for Epstein. He's gonna lose getting bail. So, his connections with all these celebrities and popular people, those are all going to come out. Yeah, he's a hung man, and there's going to be information about money laundering that's going to come up. In particular, a woman. I feel like it's a woman that helped him with money laundering. Yeah, to helped him balance the money, shift the money. So, not getting that he would try to leave the country in that spread, which is what I'm asking, but it's showing me what's going to happen to him because judgment's on him. So let's wait for it. Let's watch for it. The judge makes the ruling on Thursday, so we'll be watching. Thanks. Subscribe if you like this. Click the thumbs up, and we'll see you in the next video. Bye.